Hey, Matt Litzinger here from Litz Digital. I'm just going to do a quick demo of AccessiBe, the accessibility overlay plugin on this Shimano site. The reason for doing this is a lot of web accessibility professionals really recommend against using AccessiBe for remediating accessibility issues as it relates to the WCAG guidelines. And this is just a really good example of how it's failing this particular site. And this is not in any way a audit on Shimano or in any way speaking to their commitment to accessibility. This is just the fact that AccessiBe is not helping them in the way that their marketing material promises that they can or do. And so just to show you what we're working with, I'm going to focus primarily on the navigation here, and you'll see there's these top level links in the navigation bar that then as you hover over them, they have like a mega menu style drop down with additional links inside. And this should all still be accessible via keyboard only navigation, and in this case, just for demonstration purposes, we're showing it hovering over so we know what to expect. But if I do a fresh reload on this site, we're going to work tabbing through with the keyboard. And I'll try my best to call I'm pressing as I'm going through this. So as the site loads up, we're going to see this video that plays, and I start to tab through. We're going to see the AccessiBe skip content, skip menu, skip to footer links that come with AccessiBe, and then our focus is going to be pulled down to the AccessiBe widget down in the lower right hand corner. This in and of itself is not really predictable tabbing behavior. It violates the predictable focus order, which I think is WCAG 2.4.3. And so that's already a little bit jarring and an issue for keyboard users. But then from here, we're going to tab onto the logo, which we would expect would be the primary first focusable item. And then we start to go through the nav bar. So we're going to do, we actually jump over here, which again is jarring. I would expect us to go to the value creation link, but based on the native tab order, we're actually going over to the language selector, the different regional sites selector, and then search, and then we get brought back over to the main top links. And you'll see AccessiBe does have this label that says you can use the left and right arrow keys to navigate links. Excuse me. That's great. That's not really a standard practice. We should just be able to tab through these. But they're letting us know that if we did want to click left and right, which I'll do here, so I'm clicking to the right, and that does take us to the About link. IR, if I keep clicking right. If I go left, the left arrow again brings us back. That's all fine and good, and it's nice that they call that out, but that is not a standard keyboard navigation practice for this type of pattern with a navigation. You do see as you hover over these, the submenus do open up automatically. That's good and helpful. Just I'd be interested to know with a screen reader if it still calls that out. The biggest issue I want to focus on here is that we can't actually access any of these links in the submenu. So I'm hitting tab and then shift tab to go back to the previous link. I can't tab into these menus, which would be one of the ways I would expect to be able to get access to those links and to take my focus to those, because those are all clickable, focusable. The other pattern that can be used is up and down arrows. So if I'm hovering over a menu item that has a submenu like this, I should be able to click down, and I'm doing that now, and it's actually just taking me down the page, like scrolling me down the page. So that's not helpful either. There's not actually any way with keyboard only to gain access to the links that are in these submenus. So that's a major problem because these links are not accessible to keyboard only users, even with accessibility or AccessiBe overlay running. The other thing I'll call out is the escape button. So typically when a submenu is open like this, you should be able to click escape and close the submenu, which is the case here. So if I just clicked escape, it closes the menu. The only real issue with that is it brings our focus back down to the AccessiBe overlay widget down in the corner. That's not a standard practice either. Typically, if I hover over, let's say, value creation, this top level link, I would expect when I click escape that the focus is going to be restored to that top level menu item that would have opened or is associated with the submenu. So it is, again, a violation of the predictable focus order guideline to take that focus and pull it back to the AccessiBe widget. So this is just one example of many of ways that AccessiBe is just not capable. An automated solution isn't capable of fixing this type of a problem. The underlying source code for this would need restructured or need some JavaScript help to help manage this focus order in a way that's predictable. And it's a case-by-case basis. That's not something that AccessiBe can assess and then fix in a way that is actually going to be useful for people that are using assistive technology. So hopefully this example was helpful just to point out one particular use case of this issue. Again, I'm Matt Litzinger from Let's Digital. Thanks for watching this quick demo.